Why is the institutional target of bullish accumulation in Bitcoin so important? Look, it's clear that this bullish accumulation process recently broke through its creek, and what Bitcoin is doing is heading towards its target. Can we then expect a bearish correction? It's important to note that Ethereum has reached levels from the origin of the breakout, and these structures indicate a significant reaction force, including Cardano. It has been struggling with its institutional target for weeks throughout its bullish accumulation process. Notice, unable to break through it. What does this imply for the crypto market? In this video, we'll analyze what's more likely to happen in the short and medium term for crypto. Now, you're looking at the Solana chart on its 4-hour time frame. Do you remember how we discussed this cryptocurrency in previous videos? We had mentioned that it would be our proxy, our favorite technical indicator, as after seeing this impulse followed by this channel, we were already visualizing in the last video that we were entering its final phase. And when the price was around these levels, we were saying that Solana had to experience a strong bullish impulse. What do we have now? This strong bullish impulse. Has the channel really extended? Now, we are in this range phase, and what we might still lack here is an event. It really wasn't about that final climactic action. I've already advanced that what we need here is a strong and powerful bullish climactic action that is deceptive. Thanks to Solana being an open book and allowing us to see that we were on the verge of starting a strong bullish impulse, it helped us understand that in Ethereum, when the price was at these levels, it was a matter of time before we broke this trend upward. To do this, we would need some time consumption to break the structure. To the upside, as you've seen, we have sellers who have been completely trapped. Here, we've also seen selling intent, only to see how buyers have taken over the market. So, as long as this defensive zone continues to work and play its role, what we can consider, because why not, is that at some point they might come to break through us. This trend line, which I believe is of great importance to lead us to an aggressive impulse in the crypto ecosystem. In the case of Cardano, we were observing this trend line as very relevant. We had already seen that we were setting up a trap and that the price was being monitored with a defensive zone, the gray rectangle. Therefore, and in the search for Solana's bullish climactic action that would serve as an indicator, as I mentioned in the last video, we could expect Cardano, when it was around this point, to sooner or later have to break the creek to reach these levels. However, they might be compressing the price against a level that all these people seem to be descending to at some point, and we'll see how. But the idea for Cardano could be to eventually break and seek a bullish move for the short term. Now, take a look at how with Polkadot. We were observing that the price level of $713 was really important. When the price was around this level, we expected that sooner or later, at some point, we could break through the creek, then break the $7.45 level and look for an expansive upward movement. It's strong, and now we are already looking for that click, that relevant level. We'll see if they want to do it now or later. If it takes more time, time will define it, but the idea is to break this click, whether now or later, but to break it to seek an expansive movement. And now, using Polkadot as an example of cryptocurrency, notice how important it is to have the ability to change your mind and know when to discard an idea to seize these opportunities. Imagine when we were here, evaluating this breakout, which we wanted to test at the level. If I illustrate it well, it would be something like this. So after this breakout, what we wanted was to test to initiate a sale that would take us to lower levels. First, realize how, in this idea, and knowing how to take positions here, a profit could already be obtained within that bearish continuity concept. See how important it is not to have ego. That upon realizing the idea doesn't prosper, that's when you have to reassess what's happening on the chart, because the lack of seeing this continuation clearly indicates an unexpected event. When facing unexpected events, the consequence is strong. Hence, looking at the Solana chart, we clearly saw that we had to experience a strong bullish impulse in the crypto market. That's why it's crucial to update the analysis and not take too long to see that the next opportunity will be in the opposite direction. And look, if it has gone well for us. The key is to anticipate events before the movement occurs, to visualize that direction. Sometimes, obviously, it won't succeed as one would like, but anyone with a bit of knowledge about technical analysis and trading knows perfectly well that having a 100 success rate is impossible. This is unthinkable. Not even the big institutions, think about it, if not Goldman Sachs, among others, would consistently achieve scandalous annual returns. Because 100 perfection doesn't exist, we see major institutions attempting to beat the market, a practice known as outperforming, when achieving an annual return higher than the S&P 500, considering that the S&P 500 can rise by 6 or 20 in some years. That is already a success. It demonstrates that those who know a bit about trading understand that being correct 100 at a time is impossible. Making mistakes is part of the business, and it's crucial to acknowledge this. However, what matters most is knowing how to take your positions. If we are adept at identifying critical levels, as we were in the last video when discussing the search for the black swan replica, profit could have been realized after that analysis. Certainly one must know how to do it, and each person should take responsibility for their actions, something any self-respecting adult knows accompanies them in life. Having said that, and after seeing that the most likely scenario was to expect an immediate rise in cryptocurrencies, if you want to understand the reason, I invite you to watch our latest video, which I'll leave in the YouTube cards above to the right. Let's now see what could happen in the crypto ecosystem from here on. For this, we turn to the daily chart of Ethereum and recall that we are in the area of the origin of the breakout, a critical level. Basically, what does the theory tell us? When faced with a black swan, a highly relevant event, as it was here, and to refresh your memory in Crypto Insight, upon seeing this black swan, we were already sharing that it would confirm a slow, bearish, and tortuous market. When this happens theoretically, the price doesn't matter what it does in the future. When it comes to visiting that structure, whether through the breakout zone or directly within the structure itself, we usually see reactions. We often witness these reactions. Obviously, nothing is certain in life, although you should already know that. But we cannot omit such information, of course. So, what are we seeing in Ethereum? Not long ago, we identified the level of the breakout origin. Recently, we worked on a defensive zone, presuming the breakout. And now, I'll tell you that Ethereum still has all this room if it pleases to go up. Basically, there is still room. They don't have to, but the possibility exists. Now, as you see the analysis cross-referenced with other cryptos, we'll see what is most likely. But before that, welcome to Crypto Insight, your ethical and moral channel for cryptocurrency technical analysis. Here, we really know what we're talking about. We conduct advanced technical analysis that has been developed for over 12 years. We upload videos several times a week. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, let me know and leave a comment with your opinion. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell so you don't miss the next opportunity. Look, now you're seeing the Solana chart. Here we have the point of control. We see it's a level they have already pierced. And now, let's identify where the second point of the highest transactional volume is. Notice that we find it at this point. It's something like the second POC, okay? And why do we want to draw a volume profile? Because we're looking for where the highest transactional volume is. Quite simple. What does the theory tell us again? When the price finds transactional agreement at a specific level, it's expected that when the price returns to that level, we'll experience a certain reaction. That tells us the theory again. It's not a law, because if there were laws in this industry… Excuse me, where do you have your Lambo parked? How much damage do the crypto brews do in this industry? So the message is quite clear. We are close to a relevant, reactive level, and there is still some room for an upward move. It can keep going up. And here's what Cardano tells us, that we are coming from a bullish accumulation process that has already taken us to institutional target number 1. Notice how the theory works in a large number of opportunities, that when the price arrives, it reacts. Take a look. And on a smaller time frame, we were already observing the idea of piercing that trend line. Now we are validating the creep. If we zoom out a bit and go to the daily time frame, if we're saying there's a possibility of continuing to rise, not mandatory but possible, this would imply that Cardano simply could go for its second institutional target in its bullish accumulation process. And that wouldn't imply anything too crazy either, because look, we find ourselves here to the left at that level. And don't worry, we'll tell you what we think will happen with the crypto market now. Take a look here in Polkadot. If we analyze this bullish accumulation process and how it leads us to its first institutional target, again, the theory tells us that we will have reactions here. And look, if we had reactions, if we had trading opportunities, because you're seeing a daily time frame here, there's a lot to do here, and there was, but you have to know how to do it. And now we're seeing how recently what could be the creek has been pierced. The creek is this level here. Well, can we then be facing the beginning of something very positive, or on the contrary, already be in the trap scenario. This is what Polkadot tells us, as Solana tells us with that bullish climactic action that we were expecting, usually treated as a trap scenario. Nothing in this life is guaranteed, but of course, it is a possibility. So, let's do some zooming in, and in this 1 hour time frame, let's find out what the target of this bullish reaccumulation process is and see where it leads us. It leads us exactly where the price has reacted. There are high probabilities that this will happen, but it won't always occur. That's why, even though it may seem unbelievable, there are people who don't understand this because they have little time in this industry. I want to think, and it's that you can't be right 100 of the time. Error is a part of this business. It's something essential. Error in analysis and trading is somewhat like a bacon and cheese sandwich. If you go to a bar and order a bacon and cheese sandwich, if you don't see the bacon, you'll complain and say that this is not a bacon and cheese sandwich. Well, the error is the bacon. It's part of the sandwich, and the sandwich is the trading industry. Error is implicit, and one must know how to reduce it, something that, by the way, we are very good at in Crypto Insight. Believe me, this is quite an accomplishment, as I've seen people who, due to a lack of knowledge, incur significant losses with an idea that didn't work out. But all of this is effort, dedication, and sacrifice. Look at Polkadot. Essentially, we've reached target number 1. But, my friend, why not wait for a correction and go for target number 2? As I mentioned, there's room for an upward move, and that doesn't necessarily imply anything extraordinary. Like I said before, on a larger time frame, who's to say this isn't a trap, and we're just going for this enticing level in the market? But, well, the market will decide that over time, and we'll always be adjusting to find the best opportunities and try to minimize the damage, which I must say happens very, very, very rarely with Crypto Insight. Let's not be mistaken. So with Bitcoin, what can we expect? Look, here we have the origin of the breakout, which we've recalibrated. Again, we see a clear surpassing of it, but look, here we have the pursuit of the institutional targets for this whole bullish accumulation process. For those who weren't familiar with the Crypto Insight channel at that time, when the price was undergoing this bearish climactic action, the message was quite clear. From here, we will initiate an accumulation process that we will pierce to go up. Not only this, but when we saw this black swan event, as I mentioned earlier with Ethereum, we were also foreseeing a bearish continuation. A bearish continuation, by the way, very detailed. And now that I recall, at Crypto Insight, when Bitcoin was at $68,000, quite different from other YouTube channels predicting $100 or $200K for Bitcoin, our message was very clear. We are in a terrible place to buy. And if we're in a terrible place to buy, well, you know who accompanies it. And well, with the birth of the channel, what's the message? Specifically, in the last bearish climactic action, here straightforwardly, we were working on a wedge to anticipate a strong expansive idea like the previous one that takes us upward. In critical moments, in macro moments, we have been very prepared for what was coming. And now, without confusing you with YouTube thumbnails with time frames, what we are seeing now is that Bitcoin is reaching its institutional target, this whole rectangle. Here we have two levels of target number 1 that are very interesting, extending up to $46,817. Whether they do it or not, they can either do it or not, but what's the hypothesis? There's a hypothesis in which we are working on a trap around the level of the breakout origin with the idea of seeking such a bearish replica. And this can be delayed weeks or months. Okay, what happens if finally the expected doesn't happen? Because we are facing an anomalous event. And when faced with an anomalous event, the consequence, as I explained earlier, is strong and aggressive. And how is this explained? Very easy. If, in the end, we surpass target number 1, which would imply the confirmation and recovery of the structure of the breakout origin, then there would be nothing more to discuss. At that point, we wouldn't be seeking an immediate replica of this bearish impulse. Instead, we would need to understand what the market is deciding to do, and we adapt without any ego and without any need to predict the future. However, you already know what our preference is. I hope this has been understood and that you appreciate this content without giving too much importance to the necessary thumbnails for publishing a video on this platform. If you are new to this industry and don't understand this content, be patient, and I guarantee that over time, because I'm already seeing it within our community, you will improve and understand everything we do. And I guarantee that it will interest you. You will like it, and you won't want to leave. You'll see the results from people who understand what they're watching in this video, and then it will be the time to decide whether you want to delve deeper or just want to stick with a very superficial and vague idea of what you're seeing. Community. Now tell me, what do you think of the work we do at Crypto Insight? Leave your opinion in the comments. And you can help our community by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and clicking on the bell icon so that YouTube notifies you of future publications. I wish you all the best strength, peace, and love. Until next time.